Hello everyone, this is the in-depth commentary for episode 1 done quicker. I'm Jukspa.
I'm Rama.
I'm Papers.
And we're going to be going over the video. We're going to be breaking the rundown. And we're going to begin. So this run was completed on hard difficulty and the run is segmented, which means that we completed in bits. So one guy does a segment, he sends the save to everyone else to try the next segment, and then like whoever gets the best time gets the segment, sort of. So split into spots is the quick version.
Oh my god.
And the difficulty is hard mostly because when this run was started far back in time, people liked hard difficulty.
Hey, the gravity gun.
But it prevents us from doing some damage boosts. From what's the ABH here?
Yeah, so there's a glitch called ABH. In old engine of Half-Life 2, there's like 2 versions. It was updated in like 2010, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, there was forward bunny hopping in the old version. We just hold W and jump when you go fast. So Valve tried to patch it by making you go backwards, get forced backwards. But if you jump backwards, you just keep accelerating, and you can go very fast.
Yeah. Do you want to explain why we don't take fall damage here when we fall down on the computer case?
In this map, there is a certain entity that gives us God mode, so we can't take any damage. And that actually sticks around for some other maps you will see later. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
Yeah. So after that bit, I prop fly over this like massive chasm, I guess. And prop flying is you just grab a prop and then you jump on it, and then you grab it again and jump. So you can just fly just like that over the gap there.
So here's the first prop clip of the run. There's a few of these. So we're going to take this computer case and we're just going to stick it in ourselves like that. And essentially what prop clipping is if you occupy the same space as something else with collision, the game will recognize you're stuck. And then if you save the game and load the game, when you load the game, you're actually a few units lower than when you saved it. So you can tunnel into the ground using this. And here we're tunneling through a very thin layer of wall to get down to the rest of the map. Normally the dog picks up the car and throws you over here and you break through the ground. Here we're able to just tunnel through this thin layer and move on to the rest of the map. And we'll see this a few other times.
Yep, and the end of the map is just some smooth movement.
Alright, so this map we're going to go reasonably fast, but there's a lot of NPC RNG here with Alex. Alex is to follow you. So we're moving reasonably fast here, but there's a lot of luck in just how Alex follows you and whether or not he's going to teleport to you at the end of the map.
Yeah, so on this bridge, it's actually an invisible bridge we can jump on. And this is a form of ABH called ASH. You hold A or D and S, and you can kind of jump forward sideways. And the reason I do this is because there's a trigger at the start of the bridge. And when you look at that, it spawns some combines. And we need to spawn them later so we can block them. But you will see here. And we block this guy so we can get grenades from him. But we have to wait for him to start throwing a grenade. Because if he starts throwing a grenade, he will always drop a grenade. But there's also a chance that he will drop another grenade. So we do some RNG so we get 2 grenades from him.
So we just saw a stuck launch here. I'm just going to rewind that so you can watch that again. So we're jumping on the piece of metal there, and that's letting us get several jumps on that piece of metal in like consecutive ticks before we fly off the piece of metal. And that lets us to get up to rapid speeds very quickly because every time you jump with ABH, you get more speed. So we boosted this trigger. The trigger in this hallway here actually is the one which sometimes teleports Alex. So we get lucky, we get the Alex teleport, we hit the trigger pretty fast. And now Alex just has to follow us down this hallway into the cutscene.
Yeah, the only thing that matters on this map at the start is we want Alex to get in the cutscene as fast as possible. And then here, BitRain is gonna do a teleport here, which basically is him bonking Alex with a prop here.
Maybe this console has some use.
Yeah, it's stuck code, I believe.
Yeah,
so if you push her into the ground.
Yeah, so what happens when BitRain bonks Alex there is the NPC thinks it's stuck. So when it's trying to path into a certain location, it's like, well, I'm stuck, I can't get there. So that activates a failsafe in which the NPC just teleports to the location. And the reason that's useful is because, well, certain cutscenes are like, they advance based on when an NPC gets somewhere. So it's quicker to teleport people around sometimes.
So this run was restarted a few times, and this is like the second version. We started a third version, but nobody wants to work on it. So we decided to go back to this and not use some new glitches that I found. So there's a glitch called save deletion, where you delete the save and then try to load it, and it will reset the map to the start. Like if you just use the map on the console. So we don't use that. And there's another glitch where you can go out of bounds and take a grenade and save just as it explodes. And you can go sideways and up and everywhere you want.
Yeah, I'll just jump in here real quick and explain that. Basically, the route that we had with those glitches, save deletion and void clipping, or like damage boosting out of bounds, was it was so difficult that nobody basically wanted to do any of the segments. So after a while, we were like, yeah, let's just do whatever we had back then, and let's finish something. And then, yeah, this run was completed after that. You can go on.
So this here is a chamber which gives you the super gravity gun. There's a similar chamber in the first Half-Life, or in Half-Life 2, the main game, which steals your weapons and gives you a super gravity gun. Well, we don't want our weapons stolen because we just got those grenades. And we don't need a super gravity gun because the level change will actually give us one. So we use this metal piece to skip it. And this clip here took me a month of grinding because it's just kind of annoying. The metal piece slides around. But this time it just popped right into me. So it's a pretty fast clip. And we're on to the level change. And this gives us the super gravity gun.
That movement like that start was just really fast APH. Not really much to talk about there.
Yeah, so I punt this little metal piece into this room, and it bounces around. And when I jump in, I hit it just at the right angle, so I get launched up on the door. Then I do a clip, and I take the grenade, because when you're clipped, you can take a grenade and damage boost, and you will clip sideways. So you do this here. And here's some stuff going on. The reason we do all this is
You might want to play it first so people can see it. What happens then?
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah.
We do sort of a seesaw motion at the level change though.
Yeah, so the reason we do that is so we can clip with Alex. Because the way clipping works is that all entities are stored in a list, including the player. And when you load the game, they are loaded in order. So if the player is loaded first, it will check if it's stuck, and if it isn't, it won't go down. So currently Alex is after us in the list, so we can't clip with her. because she isn't loaded when the player is loaded. But you can do a trick, because when you enter a new map, all the entities in that map are loaded first. So we have to keep her in the last map, but she tries to teleport to us. So there's a spot right here that she tries to teleport to first, where I put the little piece, because she won't teleport if it's blocked by something. So that's where she tries to teleport first, and if she can't do that, she tries to teleport to a point around the player. So we take the two big metal pieces and block ourselves. Right here is the level change, so it's blocked around, she can't teleport. So she's back in the last map. We go back to that, and now those entities loaded first, so she is before us in the list. So now
There's
we can
also
keep
one
her-
other thing. That little piece of metal we used to block that corner space is actually the same piece of metal we clipped with, which then fell through the door through a crack after we clipped through, and then we re-grab it after we clipped with it. It's a fun little fact.
Yeah, we bring it far. All right.
All right, so this is fun. This elevator, you're supposed to ride all the way down this shaft, but that's really slow. So we can get down there a little faster if we just drop. So we're gonna put Alex up on that clip brush. There's 3 pieces of debris which fall down, which will destroy the elevator if you do not get rid of them. So we're gonna drop Alex down the shaft. We're going to fire an orb to destroy that last piece of debris, so the elevator doesn't get destroyed. If the elevator gets destroyed, the game will end. You will lose. And then we go and join Alex at the bottom of the shaft. And yes, but how do we survive that?
Yeah, so we actually do a sort of weird landing method here, where we land on, like, right next to Alex, and then we get stuck in Alex very briefly, which negates all fall damage. It's like, I don't really completely understand how it works, but it does work, so I don't question it too much. Oh yeah, and we actually don't know why this happens, but Alex turns into black. Like, her whole texture is suddenly completely black, and we have no idea why. Doesn't actually cause anything, but it's just a weird visual thing. And then here we actually do a circle jump, so let me go back a bit to play it again. So doing that circle jump gives us a little bit more extra speed on our first jump. So how that works is, typically how ABH works is you just start jumping forwards and then you turn around and then you start getting speed. But basically the circle jumps is, you get an ABH on your first hop. So in that case, I do a circular motion forwards and then I tap S on my keyboard, so backwards, and then I jump. So it activates the ABH mechanic on your first jump. So it's significantly faster than just jumping forwards normally. And the level's gonna end once Alex walks in.
What's wrong with this lift?
This could be it, Gordon.
Do you want to explain
Alright,
that?
so
Oh, sorry. I think we both paused.
so the reason we did all that thing with Alex, with the level change, is we can clip with her here. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that skips the cutscene, obviously.
Yeah, that saves a lot of time.
So for this part, we only need to activate one of the stabilizers. Unlike, I think in episode 1 Done Quick, they activated multiple, but you only actually need to activate this one. And in this case, I just shoot the orb there and it lands right in the stabilizer.
And then we can take, leisurely stroll down this corridor. There's a panel on the ground here. It's right there. It's on a timer from when we shoot the orb into the stabilizers. Now we're just waiting for the panel to come back up. And there's 2 orbs we have to shoot down there to reactivate this. We have to reactivate the stabilizer. It's just some stuff which the game forces you to do. And then here, Rama, you want to explain this?
Yeah, we take this door and squeeze it between the window and the stabilizer, because the stabilizer is going forward on a rail. And when that happens, the door loses collision for a short while. So we take it over here, and now it regains collision, so we can clip easy.
You can see we're actually halfway in the ground right now. So we don't clip immediately when the grenade blows up. We actually have to wait in this room until our grav gun turns back to normal. So as soon as the screen goes white, our grav gun will go back to the normal grav gun and it will clip to the end of the map.
I guess the thing worth mentioning is that we don't look in Alex's direction, and that makes her follow us a little bit quicker. Do you want to take the roll mine thing?
Oh yeah, the reason we need to have the gravity gun back to normal is because when you have the super gravity gun, it tries to kill anything you grab. And when you try to kill the roller mine, it will spawn another roller mine that's just floating in the air. But you don't actually grab the roller mine, and it doesn't die, so it keeps rolling and just leaving a trail of other roller mines. But you need to grab it so Alex can stop it. So if you don't do it, you soft lock the game. You can't progress.
Then here we just have to wait for the door to open, and then after that we have to kill these combine as fast as possible. This is actually quite difficult to do optimally with the roller mines. It looks simple, but it's not. And then we have a little bit of time to like mess around because of this whole thing is just on a timer. And then in this bit, once I actually go into the train here, Alex actually tries to walk out or run out, and you have to block her to prevent that from happening. I actually forget exactly why that is, like why Alex tries to run out, but if she does run out, it does soft lock the game, so.
You know, all things considered.
So here, you can see we're actually looking outside the train. You can't just do this normally, but because the train's side is slanted, we're using this trick called quantum crouching. So we crouched, and then as we're coming back up, we re-crouched, and that locks our camera above our actual position. So our body is still crouched, but our camera is now resting above our body, and we can look at the train like this. And we'll use this later. I'll mention it when we get there.
Yeah, that doesn't actually do anything, it's just for fun, so just to clarify.
Yeah, here it's just for fun.
Damn the combine.
It's not some
This is
secret
what happens
strategy.
to you if you resist. Or if you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And this is actually also one of the maps that could be skipped with the void boosts. This was actually the map that killed the run, once we were trying to like get all the fast shots in.
Yeah.
With any luck, we should be well out of the city before it's too late. Thank God we're not on foot. Let's hope the worst is over.
And it's just on a timer, there's nothing you can really do to speed it up.
Looks like you saved the
It's pretty boring.
What's that?
So here's the trick. If you stand in this spot, normally when the train crashes, it tilts forward. But if you stand in this spot, you block it and it tilts backward instead. And you'll see why that is
Oh my
good
God.
in a second.
Brace yourself!
So since it's tilted, we can do a stock launch here on the tilted train, and when the screen goes black, it actually teleports you to another location, but we keep the speed, so we save a little bit of time, like 3 seconds I think.
Yeah, it's pretty slow to walk through the train here.
Yeah, so you usually have to walk all the way up the train, but we just appear right next to Alex because of the speed we have. Alright, we're on to the C-17 portion of the run.
Yeah, so there's a cutscene skip right at the start here, where there's normally like a cutscene where Alex is, I don't know, doing something, she's wandering around, and then eventually she opens the force field. So in episode 1 Done Quick, they did a grenade boost over the force field, which is a pretty simple way of doing the skip. But here we had, I don't think we had grenades, and even if we did have grenades, we are actually in Gordon mode right now. So we couldn't do the grenade boost. So hence why we have to do the circle jump up the train, and you can just barely make it over there on top of the train, and then we're gonna just go over the map there.
Alright, so there's a vent here, you'll see it in a second. It's right there. There's a vent there. It's low on the ground, so we're going to do a little circle jump like we did before, but we're going to crouch while we did it so we can get into that vent. And then we're going to have a lot of speed in that vent. The vent's very, very low, so every time you jump, you hit the ceiling, you get pushed right back down. And it allows us to just supercharge through the vent. You'll see how fast we get through this vent.
This is actually really difficult to optimize, like getting all the jumps in the correct spots.
That switch opens this door. So now here's another step launch.
Nice job.
And hitting this switch opens this door, which you go through right there.
So punting that car blocks the antlion spawner. Otherwise they come up and attack you, and you can't,
You can crank
turn
it,
the
yeah.
thing.
So this is a little strategy where you can use the bike to wedge this door open. It'll normally fall closed, but you can save 2 seconds by wedging the bike in there before you fully open the door, and then heading through.
Yeah, normally like if you crank the door enough, it gets stuck at the top, but yeah, the bike blocks it from closing, so you can let go a little bit earlier. It's pretty neat strat. This is some fast movement, and then we're gonna use this explosive thing, canister, for a clip here. And then we, when I clipped, that was a very, very quick clip, but we're now gonna use this for damage boosting, so that we can get into this corridor over here.
Yeah, so here normally. Oh, shit. Yeah, so normally when you're out of bounds, you can't move. But if you're right on a ceiling, you can kind of walk along it. So that's what we do here. So hitting that switch starts a timer for the elevator to start, so we don't have to go very fast here. We can take our time. But we have to go back here and open the gate, otherwise Alex will be killed by the antlions. And yeah, we need her for last map.
So here, yeah, as you mentioned, we don't have to go that fast because we hit that switch and now there's a timer in.
And if we just left Alex here, she would die from the analyze, yeah.
You're lucky you've got
And
that
which would
hazardous
end the
waste.
game also.
This water's nasty.
So don't want to do that.
Got room for 2 in there?
So we do a clip here and a damage boost to get into the elevator shaft. And right here there's a trigger to start the elevator, and it's actually 2 triggers that are activated by the player and Alex. So it needs both, like 2, but if you clip out of a trigger, it doesn't register that you got out of it. So you can go back in it again, and it will think that both you and Alex are there. So the elevator will start. So you actually get a little boost from the brick to hit the trigger again. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah.
This same strat is actually used in episode 2 in the dog race kit, if anyone's seen that. Is there something about the elevator wrong stunt here they wanted to mention there, Rama? Or is that already it?
Alright, when I did a clip to start the elevator, it actually starts in the wrong order, because normally you hit the switch and the timer starts the elevator to go up, and then you get in and it starts going to the top. But it doesn't matter which order you do it. So when the timer from the switch runs out, it actually goes to the top instead of just going up so you can get in it.
Does it actually save any time, or?
Yeah, it saves like 10 seconds, I think.
Okay, yeah. So nice time save there. So for the end of the map, we actually are standing on like this barrel on the brick, and the brick is actually going to push us through the ceiling here, like so. And this is sort of the same glitch as is used in the portal task, where in the portal task they use a lamp to clip through the ceiling, and in this case we use the brick. So it's basically the same trick. The brick just pushes us through the ceiling because there's like not enough room for both the player and the brick there, and then we can go through the floor there.
This launch is pretty good. Yeah. That's a urban flight.
Major fracture detected.
Yeah, overall the movement's pretty nice here. And there's actually an edge bug there. Let me go back. Yeah, so there we land without taking any damage, and how that works is called an edge bug. So we land on an edge and then slide off of it within a movement tick. And the way fall damage is applied is it checks for the fall damage at the end of every tick. So since we hit the sort of edge and then we end up in the air again, the game doesn't deal any fall damage. So that's a pretty nifty way of avoiding fall damage. It works pretty much in any spot where there's any like sort of surface. It's very useful. And then here's just a clip, and then we're on to the next map. And this is actually a new glitch here with the shotgun, which was found by Wumpty, where I'm gonna play it one more time, where you will see Rain here. He shoots the shotgun and then presses reload really quickly, which makes it shoot a little bit quicker. It doesn't matter too much there, but it's just a nifty little trick that was found not too long ago. And then here we just grab some health for the rest of the map.
Get away from the doors.
So I throw this grenade up on the roof to the left, to use for a clip later, and then quickly grab this sign for clipping. And this area, there's actually a big clip brush that's supposed to prevent you from going here. But there's a small opening in the window that you can barely get in. So I get through there and launch up to the roof.
So we do a little ladder boost there. You can see how fast we got up the ladder. That's just like spamming using crouch as you go up. And sometimes it'll just teleport you up the ladder. So here's more vent ABHing. This room is normally really hard not to take damage in. There's a ton of mines, there's a ton of explosive stuff. But if you just shoot that barrel in the corner, it actually makes that left-hand corner of the room safe. So we'll just run over there, everything will blow up, and it won't damage us. Alright, so I mentioned quantum crouching earlier. We're going to use that here. There's a room above us right now which has a plug, and that plug powers the force field. So we got this washer. We shoot the barrel. It boosts our camera. Our body is still in the previous room, but our camera is above our body. So our camera ends up in the room above us. We shoot a plug, which is not really visible here, but it's behind that bookcase. That deactivates the force field, and we're able to just move on.
Yeah, normally you have to wait for like a little cutscene to play out there, and wait for the door to open to shoot the plug there, so it saves a little bit of time. So for this map, I use this grenade to scare the enemies there. I throw it in front of me, and these enemies are gonna run, the combine are gonna run like left and right, so I can avoid them. And then here, you might notice that this zombie mysteriously disappears after I fire him with the shotgun. So that's because there's actually a segment transition there. And once I load the save from the next segment, the zombies completely despawn. So that looks a bit weird, but trust me, there's nothing weird about that. And that's AFHing through that hallway, which is not like that AFH, which is like we're going forwards and then we tap S. It's like another variant of ABH. Just the forwards version. And then we use this crate for stock launching and going through the roof here. And then grab the rocket launcher at the same time as well.
Here we'll let the gunship shoot us. We get a little boost to get into the corridor.
So this upcoming hallway, we have another force field which is powered by a plug. So we're going to shoot the plug, the force field disappears, and we're able to get right through.
So here's a cutscene playing, so I just set up some stuff for use later.
The combine's on
A lot of RTA runners will teleport the NPCs here, but it turns out that doesn't save any time at all, so we don't bother.
Yeah, we'll actually explain this like setup stuff later, what it's for, so don't worry about it too much. We'll get to it eventually. Right, so as with Alex, there's actually a similar thing here with the citizens, where if you don't look at them, you go a bit quicker, or they go a bit quicker. And you just have to wait for the citizens to get to the end of this escort here, and they have to touch a certain trigger. So once they're far enough, I can just go and get the second group.
And the citizens can actually go a lot faster if you don't look at them. It's actually really funny if you look at them in demos. They'll like zoom around like fighter jets and they'll like turn. It's really funny. They go extremely fast sometimes.
Yeah, and you actually can't kill all of them. At least one has to make it through, because otherwise it just gives you another group. You can just like massacre them, and then it won't advance in that case. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Just go.
Alright, here's a magnum shot. There's a sniper in that window. In order to kill him, you usually have to use a rocket, but rockets have travel times, and magnum shots do not. So we put that explosive barrel in that window earlier. We're going to shoot the barrel. It's going to blow up and kill the sniper. And that will save a little bit of time.
It also
Let's
looks
just watch
cool.
that one more time because it's pretty sick. And cool. One more escort. Or not one, more than one more, but here's one more.
And I actually used the roller mines or the hopper mines to kill some of the citizens. Since one has to make it through, it's quicker to like kill 3 and then let one go, like so. And got some APC stuff with Roland plays.
Yeah, if you don't have any rockets or the rocket launcher, and you pick up a rocket, you can fire it immediately, so you can skip the reload animation.
And remember, we set up all those rockets on the ground earlier, so that we actually set them up in a line so you could move and fire towards the door.
Yeah. So just that one rocket you take, so you pick up another, fire again, and yeah, it's faster than having to reload the rocket launcher.
Yeah, actually before the APC-5 we shoot one of the rockets, so we have one in the chamber, which is also crucial for that. It doesn't work if you have like more than one.
Alright, so here there is an invisible wall, and if you crouch and walk in, push a prop against the wall, usually you will just clip with it, but sometimes the prop will go into the wall. So I push this into the wall, and then there's another wall on the side that I use to just clip with the barrel, but it's still in that wall. So I can bring the barrel with me down to this area, and there's a trigger over this room, and a counter again, like in the elevator back in the garage. It tries to count that everyone is there, so it wants to have 4, I think, no 5.
Yeah, 2
Alex,
citizens, Barney, Alex, and you, so it's 5.
Yeah, but I can use that trick again to push me out of the trigger with this barrel if I say load. So I do that 4 times, so we don't have to wait for the citizens or Barney or Alex. So yeah, it saves like 30 seconds, I think. And then I do a clip, so I stay in the level change trigger, but also in the wall. And I do a damage boost. So I have a lot of speed now, but I'm still stuck in the wall. But when the level changes, you can just fly out of the wall and skip the whole cutscene. Like that.
So this crank, once we're finished with this crank, it'll actually spawn a strider. So we're just going to turn this crank, use this time to set up that pallet for launch.
Right, so for the launch the strider, I actually jump off of this pallet and do a little like launch so that I can get up to the fence. And then once I'm like between the fence and the crate, I get like wedged in between them, so I can get multiple jumps in a row. So it's a stuck launch. And then I quickly turn to my left, which then unlocks me from this position, and it's launch instantly near to where the strider is at. And then we get the strider out. And again, we use the RPG fast-fire trick, where we shoot rockets and then we have 0 ammo, and then we pick a new one up and then we shoot them again.
Yeah, this catwalk is lined with rockets.
Yeah, there's loads of rockets on the ground here, which you can't really see from like this perspective, but they're there. So we need 7 rockets to kill the strider, and then right at the end here, I like drop into the trigger, and that actually causes hitting that trigger makes new striders not spawn. Because if you just kill them while you're on that platform over there, a new strider would spawn and you'd have to kill that one as well. So hitting this trigger in the air actually makes the game start the cutscene for the ending bit.
So time will end once the train starts moving. So Alex is going to do something with this panel. We'll set up a little teleport to end the game.
Actually gonna make it out of here. Quick now, let's get the train moving.
Yeah, and that's the game.
Yeah.
Did it, Gordon?
So the reason the train just disappeared, kind of, is because when the map loaded, we made a save right as it loaded, and some entities like set up their stuff a few ticks after the map loads. So if you save before that, they kind of break and do some weird stuff. It's like this train going backwards, which is kind of neat. It doesn't save any time. It's just a fun glitch.
We did it, Gordon.
Yeah, and the timing ends as well, right when that happens. So even if it would like save time in some weird way, it wouldn't really count. There's nothing to do at the end. We just mess around for a little bit.
This run started, I don't even know when it started. It started with Elgu, Kofra, and Thompson. A lot of those people were working on the run way back.
I think it was in 2013, around that time.
2013. That was like around Guamog, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
this run has been in the pipeline for a long time.
Yeah, but that might be kind of deceiving, because when you hear that, you might be thinking like, oh, people must have been working on this like all the time, but it's like mostly been nobody working on it, and then people just procrastinating on it. And then this year we basically got together and finished this thing.
Yeah, or just me working on it. And this was the first run I really worked on, so it was terrible. So a lot of the work I did early was just, I had to throw it out.
Let's keep going.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, does
Alright.
Rama want to explain any of the ending train bit here? How that thing works?
Yeah, should I rewind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the transition thing, I guess, could be worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Alright, I have to dip out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, feel free.
Alright, see you guys.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye. So there's a trigger here that teleports you into the train, but you can keep your velocity. So I slide up this cliff and hit the trigger. So I have some speed to go out of the train. So
Yeah, and again, this is just for fun. Doesn't take any time.
just fun. I think I joined this run when you were on the last map, and it was finished, but then we restarted it. Right?
Yeah,
We were on,
maybe.
Yeah, we were on the last map. We did the clip to skip the force field.
Yeah,
And
that's...
then we thought it was kind of silly to just use the clip at the end. So
Yeah, then we started restarting things and
yeah,
working on stuff. But yeah, that's
And,
it. No,
yeah.
something else you want to
Finally it's
mention?
done. So I'm very happy with this run. It's I didn't think it would be finished, but here it is.
Yeah, I think the run was pretty good. I think it's better than most people expect, since everyone expects the episode 1 to be like, it's a cutscene, it's boring. There's actually some pretty cool moment there, here and there. I won't say it's like the best run ever, but yeah, it's pretty cool, I think. But yeah, I think... Anything more you'd like to add there, or...?
No, not really.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was it for the episode 1 done quicker, in-depth commentary. We hope you enjoyed the run, and we hope you enjoyed the commentary.
Bye bye.
Bye.